Word up! Welcome to Word of the Day with the Comedians. I'm your host, Deader Dennis Maller, and joining me on the program today is comedian, booker, and owner of a dog just slightly cuter than my own, is Jon Yeager.
Hey, how everybody out there? I'm not here. Cheers.
Our word of the day today, John, is going to be Whigmaleerie. Let's make sure that I am saying that right, because went to 6 years of community college and didn't graduate, so I'm not great at pronouncing things.
Whigmaleerie. Whigmaleerie.
I got it. Whigmaleerie is our word of the day.
Wow.
And Whigmaleerie is a Scottish word, apparently. And it means on a whim, or it has a secondary definition of an odd and fanciful contrivance. Oh, great. So I have to look up what the word contrivance means, because I have to look. So we've selected a word of the day, and now we also have to find the definition of the definition of it.
This whole show literally feels contrived. All right. Whigmaleerie.
Yes, it is a odd or fanciful contrivance. And that, of course, means to use a skill to bring something about or to create something. Whigmaleerie is a odd or fanciful way to create something.
I got to be honest. When you said it was Scottish in terms of origin, it just sounded like somebody who had too much whiskey. It was like, the Whigmaleerie. It just sounded like someone just made it up and you're like, all right, that's a word now.
It definitely has that Scottish slur through words that their language is well known for.
One of the main cities of Scotland. I think the name came up when someone got drunk and fell in a bottle, like Glasgow. That's it. It's funny. I mean, that's one of the things. Russian, you got you just mumble because it's just all vodka, and vodka just kind of makes you mumble. Whiskey gets you a little hyped up. You're like, Whigmaleerie. It sounds more Irish. Yeah.
And that brings us to our fun fact. Did you know-ism for the word Whigmaleerie? Whigmaleerie, a whimsical or fanciful ornament or contrivance, is a noun from the Scots, which is a language that is still spoken today by over 1 million people in Scotland and Northern Ireland. Scots is not the same as Scottish Gaelic, and Celtic language, or as we say here in Boston, Celtic language, closely related to Irish Gaelic. Instead, the Scots and modern English both descend from Middle English and diverge approximately 800 years ago. Whigmaleerie, earlier figmaleerie. So I like how the original version of the word is just a word with one letter changed. Is most likely a fanciful and elaborate invention based on common elements in expressive words. The initial fig could be based on the Scots fig, which means to move briskly, which is probably related to fidget. So great. Fidget spinners are traced their origins back to the same place where we get golf. Cool. While the medial ma could be inspired by the similar sounding syllable in words such as rigmarole and thingamabob. Whigmaleerie was first recorded in English in the 1720s. And I'll tell you, when I was looking up for a fun fact about the word Whigmaleerie, there wasn't much that came up about it. There's a bunch of Scottish poems that use it, and there is one Italian poem translated into Scottish that uses the word, and that's pretty much the whole usage of the word.
Wow, and I thought that Italians would do anything to try to get laid, but this is advanced. Hey, Bella, I'm here in Glasgow. I want to put my fig in her Larry, huh? You know what I mean? Hey, how can I get into her heart? She doesn't like me, but I read her this poem. It's a long, long way, my fig Larry. All right. I apologize to everybody. I want to see how many different groups I can upset with terrible accent work. I'm still convinced, Dennis, though, that just Irish is Scottish just one octave higher. There's nothing different. Like a Scotsman be like, "Oh, hey, Lassie, how you doing?" And an Irishman's like, "Oh, hey, Lassie, how you doing?" That's it. It's just one octave. It's the same thing. I just, and then the higher voice is the one that wears not the dress. I'm so confused. I mean. Anyway,
well, it's the Scots. They're burly and they're broad. So, they would have the deeper volume voice. They would have the deeper toned voice. And of course, then you have the Irish. They're all skinny and like this. But I will tell you this: when it comes to the Irish, the more and more I live here in Boston, the more I wish I could build a time machine and go back in history and root for the potato famine.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and that brings us to the moment of the show where we will construct a sentence using our word of the day in context. And of course, our word of the day is Whigmaleerie, which means a whimsical or fanciful ornament or contrivance. And I think you're a good person for Whigmaleerie. You create a lot of shows. You're not like a person that crafts things, though. But
Muppet, come here. We're gonna see if we'll do it. Muppet, before we get started, this is my dog. I don't know. Here, I'll pan down, but this is stupid dog tricks. I mean, I feel like right now this is quite a Whigmaleerie that I'm pulling. Try to raptor. Oh, here you go, buddy. Enjoy. All right,
hi, Muppet. Hi, cutie.
Oh. He turned around. That's cute.
Did somebody say my name?
And peed on the floor. All right. All right. So,
and every good sentence, of course, has a subject, which is a person the sentence is about. So let's think of a person who might be associated with a Whigmaleerie, which again is a fanciful ornament. So who is somebody like? Let's come up with a name. You know what? Fanciful ornaments. I'm thinking, what's that shop called? Etsy. Maybe we can talk something about Etsy in the sentence. So what is the name of somebody who may be selling useless stuff on Etsy? Doesn't need to be a proper noun. Doesn't need an actual person. Just a name that would represent somebody that might be an Etsy purveyor.
How about Celeste? But that was not her given name. Creations by Celeste. Her mom, great pizza maker. If you didn't know that.
All right, so Celeste is going to be our person that the subject is about. Should we give Celeste? You know what? Let's say Celeste. What do you call it? What do you call it when somebody gets is going to be the inheritant, the person who gets an inheritance?
An heiress? Celeste the
heiress. Yes, heiress. I definitely. Please do not make fun of me for my terrible spelling.
No, I'm from Baltimore, so you'd be like, a Hereford? I think she's one of them Harrises, you know? They said she was the heroine of the story, but she wasn't doing the drugs. I love Baltimore.
What is something absurd and funny that she could be making on Etsy?
Man, she could be doing feng shui pizza plates, where you actually have a Pac-Man shaped plate, but you fit the slice of pizza in the open spot because that completes the circle and therefore cleanses the house of bad energy. And it's $85 a plate. But each one artisanally created. Gluten-free, cage-free ceramics, most importantly. And they're fair trade. Gotta be.
All right, everybody, we have officially selected our word of the day. We have defined it, and we have created a sentence using it in context. And to present all of that for you is my guest, Jon Yeager.
Hey, everybody. The word of the day is Whigmaleerie. Whigmaleerie. I just realized that's the word eerie in the end of it. I didn't know it. Maybe we got something for Whigmall. But anyway, we decided that it definitely sounds like a Scottish word that people came up with when they drank too much whiskey and just stuck. And it is obviously, it means an odd or fanciful contrivance, which means something that you kind of set up kind of to get attention or to spin things off of it. And so we decided to get a little backstory. Here it is. Despite being financially well off, Celeste, the heiress to the pizza fortune, sells feng shui-inspired pizza plates in the shape of 80s arcade icon Pac-Man, but insists to call it by its original Japanese name, Puck-Man.
Excellent. All right, everybody. We have officially expanded our vocabulary by one more word today. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, if you use Whigmaleerie in a sentence, either in context or out of it, I want to know all about it in the comments down below. And thank you for joining us today. And thank you to my guest, Jon Yeager, for joining us and helping us create this sentence. Jon, please tell everyone where they can find you and your adorable dog, Muppet.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks so much for having me. You guys can follow me on Instagram. That is Somm, S-O-M-M, Funny Dude. Somm Funny Dude, S-O-M-M, because I sell wine. There's some of it there. Didn't drink those today. Those are all empty. Somm Funny Dude on Instagram or callback_comedy. You can also just follow me in general. I appreciate any of the attention. I'll never turn down any stalkers. And you can find Muppet. Muppet is actually going to be on the calendar for Humane Rescue Alliance in DC for 2023. He made the cut, so he will be. I believe he's March for next year. So very cool picture of him standing up doing this. And yep, that's the success story of a overly reactive dog being rehoused. He still doesn't like me, but I mean, we tamed him, so it's great. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. I mean, I feel like me going through everywhere where you could find me was quite a Whigmaleerie for me to promote shows.
Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah,
and of course, links to everything is in the description. Thank you, everybody. And don't forget to word up.
Cheers. Word up.